Hey, everybody. It is stop two of a six-game road trip, and for Sacramento, a really good half following up that awful performance in Orlando, 60-54 over the Indiana Pacers. Ryo, would the real Sacramento Kings please take a step forward, huh?
No kidding. They started out a little slow, Jerry, but then a couple of physical plays getting to the rim turned everything around.
Yeah, really did. I thought really an outstanding half. I think, defensively, really creating some problems, and the pace. Uh, Really, obviously, the Pacers want to play at a fast pace, but so do the Kings, and it's worked out well. And really, just seeing a great ball game. And I don't know that the Kings can play any better, but if they're going to have to play another half exactly like the first one to get the win.
And that's the issue that we've seen with Sacramento. They have shown stretches like this where you're like, wow. And then the third quarter starts and you're like, what happened to the team we just saw in the first half? So at this point in the season, boy, you're really trying to find some consistency right now because we haven't had it.
Yeah.
That's it exactly. I mean, the defensive effort's been outstanding, and the ball's moving beautifully. Yep. I mean, Monk's not scoring the ball, but he's really getting everybody involved, which is good. And certainly Domas has had a terrific half, and Keegan Murray, finding ways to really impact the game without scoring, even though he is scoring.
Yeah, and Jerry, with the exception of a couple plays where they tried to force things, the Kings are really taking what the defense is giving them, and they're good looks.
Yeah, it's really great to see Zach LaVine, really shooting with confidence and really looking for his shot a little more. And I don't know what more we expect to see other than maybe a little more from the bench. And they haven't played a lot, but they've been good. But they're going to have to be good in the second half as well, because the Pacers have a very deep bench.
Yeah, and that means Malik Monk. You cannot have Monk go scoreless. I'm nitpicking a little bit here, but this is the issue that I see could be a problem. Because of your thin bench now, no Laravia, no Carter, right? You're talking about, look at the minutes that were played in the first half, all right? DeMar DeRozan, 20 minutes. Sabonis, 19 minutes. LaVine, 18 minutes. The bench has got to help out. Or these minutes, something's going to break here, Jerry. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, and I would agree with you because the pace is what it is. I mean, it's a fast pace, and it's going to stay that way. And the deep bench that the Pacers have and they use will really show up here. So as Coach Christie's got to go to his bench probably a little more, and they've really got to perform.
Yeah, Jerry, who does that mean? Who should he be looking to possibly mix in to the short rotation that we've seen?
Well, I mean, as Trey Lyles has got to play a lot more, I think, and I think Markelle Fultz could be a key here as well, because defensively he can stay in front of guys. Valanciunas, even though he didn't play a lot of minutes, but they really can't defend him if the Kings want to really go to him, really establish a low post, get him pinned in there, because Bryant and Bradley, I don't think they can deal with him.
You talked about Sabonis earlier. This looks like the Domantas Sabonis that we have been so accustomed to seeing on a nightly basis since his arrival from Indiana until just recently. But boy, that half for him was outstanding.
Yeah, he really wanted to take it to him, and he did. And definitely wants to play physical, and they kind of know that. So we've seen a couple of guys bail out knowing he's coming at the rim a couple times.
Yeah. I'm not taking that charge, Jerry.
Yeah, I was going to say that's exactly what happened, guys. Not tonight. I'll be there. I'm going to play tomorrow.
All right. So Ryan, are the Kings going to get the win? And if so, what's the final score going to be? What's your prediction here?
Yeah, I think the Kings do win this game. I really like the way that they're playing defensively. They're pushing Indiana back. I'm going to say Sacramento 109, Indiana 104. Jerry?
I got the Kings winning 110, 19, 109. Going to be a buzzer beater. Going to get DeRozan stroking one in at the buzzer.
Wow. We actually are telling you who's going to score the winning basket. I've got Sacramento going on top, 114-112, the final. I like that, Jerry. You're even telling us how the game is going to end. That's pretty amazing.
Well, sometimes I got to be really explicit about it, because sometimes just giving a score is not enough. I want to tell you how it's going to happen.
And of course, we'll have the post-game show with your phone calls coming up right after the game. While we have a couple of moments here, when you look at the Kings situation, currently 10th, but a half game behind Dallas, I think you can pretty much almost say goodbye to the Phoenix Suns. I'm looking at their situation. I'm looking at how poorly they're playing. I'm looking at their schedule. I just don't see it. We saw Durant with the ankle last night. I don't see it. I really don't.
Oh, I don't either. I think they're done. They want to be done. And with Durant, he's done for probably the season. And so, yeah, I think so. Really, it's a matter of Dallas and Sacramento fighting for the 9th spot. That's exactly what it is. There's no chance for the 8th spot anymore. So it's 9th or 10th now.
Yep.
Yeah, but if Durant does come back, Jerry, it'll be that last game of the season against Sacramento.
That's a great point, Ryan. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, if he just plays one more game, that's when it'd be.
I don't even think it matters if Sacramento's at home or on the road. To me, I'd almost rather see the Kings on the road. If they have to go to Dallas, who cares? I mean, they play so much more effective for longer stretches, in my opinion, on the road than they do at home. So I don't think it's that big of a deal for them. I really don't.
It is for most teams, but it isn't. You're right. I mean, the last several years, they've been as good on the road as they have at home, which is very depressing because they're supposed to be a lot better at home. But they haven't been. They're a 500 team at home at best. And so that's, I don't think that's a concern, really.
Well, it's good to see Zach LaVine back in an Eastern Conference arena. Maybe that's what we need.
Yeah, never thought of it that way, but just a familiar building that they're used to going in. But Zach, I mean, I think it is a case where Zach has to really get comfortable, forcing some shots or forcing his offense a little bit. He's with a new team, but he's an aggressive scorer, and we haven't seen that on a consistent basis.
I'm curious with Rick Carlisle and Indiana and their adjustments. What kind of adjustments do you look forward from Indiana here in this second half? Because the Kings scored 60 points. They were aggressive. Indiana only had, I think, 2 free throws in that first half. What changes do you expect from them, Jerry?
I'm going to expect to see them playing a little more zone, to be honest with you, defensively. And I think on the offensive side of it, I think Siakam is going to be a real key here in the second half. I think they're going to go to him. Kings have done a nice job on both Siakam and Halliburton. So that has to continue. I mean, T.J. McConnell is always a Kings killer. That worries me off the bench. But I think we can look. I'd be surprised they don't go to a little more zone against the Kings.
I think the one area of the game that has changed the game for both teams is the turnovers in transition, because both teams are converting in transition. Whoever turns it over less in the second half probably wins this basketball game.
It's just the turnover ratio.
Yeah.
I mean, just about, that and defensive rebounding seem to be always the keys. And I think you're right, Ryan. I'd agree with that.
Well, and the 3-point shooting, both for and against, that's the one issue that we keep on talking about. But I think assist to turnover ratio is so crucial here in this second half. And, again, I think we have to point out that, I don't want to call it a lock, but I can't imagine the Kings not being 9th or 10th. And I'm looking at how they're playing right now more than whether they're just winning or losing. And when I see a half like this, it gives me a little bit more oomph. It gives me like, okay, well, they can do it, but let's see if they can put 4 quarters together. It's been a while since we've seen that.
Yeah, that's the key. You're right. I mean, we've seen a lot of good halves. We haven't seen nearly enough good 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So that's and this is a good Pacer team. They've been winning recently. They're 5th, I think, in the East, and probably will stay there. So if you could put together a full game, 2 good halves, and beat a good team on the road, it gives you some hope. That hey, they can go on the road in the play-in situation and win games.
And maybe by the time we get 8.5 games down the road, the Kings will be able to put together 8 good quarters and find themselves in a 7-game or a 4-game series.
Now you're just getting wishful, aren't you, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm trying to be Mr. Positive. I broke into your Kool-Aid again.
No, well, that's okay. Yeah, man, we got to have a little Kool-Aid going forward here. Got to have some.
Well, if we were one day ahead, I would say that's pretty good April Fool's joke there, Rhino. But
So with
So,
Keon Ellis starting 3 games in a row, that's not April Fool's.
right. Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he
but in order for this to really work, Malik Monk's got to be the Malik Monk that we were accustomed to in the normal role of coming off the bench, where he was so effective, and really until he got hurt last year was the leading candidate, or one of the leading candidates, for 6th man of the year. That's what we need to see.
Yeah, you're going to have to get offense from him. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing a nice job playmaking, trying to play defense, but you're going to need probably 10 points out of Malik here in the second half, and we need the rise of the Monkster for the second.
Yeah. The Monkster, huh? All right. Well, we'll see what happens. It's 60-54 at the half. It's an outstanding half of basketball for Sacramento. Hard to believe this is the same team that we watched 48 hours ago in Orlando, but that's life in the good old NBA of A. Jerry, thanks very much.
Thank you, guys, and good luck here in the post game. And let's see another great half by the Kings. Can't wait.
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
good. Sounds
Appreciate
good.
you,
Rhino, we'll
Jerry.
talk to you in about an hour, buddy.
Can't wait.
And to everyone else, make sure you join us right after the game here on If You Don't Like That. Bye-bye now.